let's talk about some events that are coming up. Canada Cup Master Series, which is not the official Canada Cup, the main one that's in October, but this is the Master Series that takes place in Calgary, Alberta. Registration is now open. It's going to be May 11th through 13th, and a lot of the usual suspects there are going to be events of games to play there: Arcade Edition, Rev 2, Dragon Ball Fuzz, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Tekken 7, both Melees, ARMS, Pokken, Ultra Street Fighter 4, and Hearthstone. Or Hearthstone.
Hearthstone. Everybody plays Hearthstone. Every scene plays Hearthstone.
So there you go. So definitely register for that if you are nearby in the area and want to play some cool fighting games in Canada.
Cool.
Also, cool news for the Super Turbo gang in Combo Breaker. They are basically they're boasting a $500 pop bonus for Super Turbo.
Wow.
So which means I got to get in there.
Yeah, you do.
Now that I've had my practice at Hey Arcade, yeah.
For sure.
There we go. But it is going to be a Tournament of Legends qualifier as well, so you definitely want to go there and play. And man, I'm this time like 99.99% chance I'm going to Combo Breaker this year, and I hopefully I can do some commentary for Super Turbo because that will make me super happy. Also, one of the things that Evo talked about is that they're looking to try to do some new things. We talked about the support for the side tournaments and stuff like that, but they also said that they're going to try to do some new stuff on the Sunday arena layout.
Okay.
Wizards tweet specifically said that they kind of are trying to go to a concert style setup. The floor seats, they wanted to make the floor seats better.
Okay.
Feel more worth it, basically. So they're probably going to like lower the stage because the floor seats couldn't really see much.
Right, yeah.
And stuff like that. So
well, I assume I've never actually been on the Evo floor. In those.
That's true.
Never actually went down there.
Yeah.
I guess I could have. I just didn't.
Yeah. But so that'll be cool. That'll be cool if they can do something cool and new. And it's always nice to change things up every once in a while. So, in game news, tomorrow, Thursday, I should say. So I got to go on to the ArcLive stream yesterday. That was episode 2.
That's so cool.
The second episode they've ever done, but literally, like, that happened in, like, the span of, like, 2 days. Like, 2 days beforehand, they're like, oh, by the way, would you like to? And I was like, oh, because I was talking to them for completely different reasons. And they were like, oh, but you know what? We need a host for the stream. Do you want to jump? I was like, sure, because I heard Daisuke and Mori were going to be there.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, that's cool. I want to go talk to Daisuke and Mori. So I got to hang out with them. And, the stream was mostly just to talk about little things about cross-tag battle, nothing too there wasn't going to be any crazy announcements, but that's because one of the things that we were going to get across on that stream was that Thursday is a ArcSys press event, and a bunch of stuff is going to be announced over there. So, Central Fiction didn't have a dub, so a lot of people were kind of frustrated with that, and so they've been asking about BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. And they said officially you'll get an answer on Thursday during this press event. They're going to announce a bunch of stuff. They're even going to announce, I believe, like a new game. I don't think it's going to be a fighting game, but they've got new projects they're working on stuff. So it's going to be a big press conference on Thursday in San Francisco. So that should be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And they also did a Q&A with Mori and Daisuke where we got to ask him a bunch of questions.
Yeah, that was very funny.
I also got Daisuke to finally sign my Guilty Gear because when I first got there too, he said, "Nice to meet you," and I was like, "I want to confirm that I have this right." But you were at UCLA I was like, "You were at UCLA a long time ago for the original Guilty Gear." He was like, and through the translator, he was like, he says, "Was that 20 years ago?" And I was like, "Yes." And he was like, I was like, "Yeah." And I pulled out my Guilty Gear, which I had in my pocket. And I was like, and he looked at it, he was like, "Oh my God," and then I got him to, I swore that he had signed all the copies on that day.
Yeah.
And every time I went back and checked my Guilty Gear, there was no signature on it. And I was like...
You checked multiple times? That's very funny.
Yeah, because I was like, no, I was wrong. Maybe it was here. Maybe it was in the... Maybe it was... And I flipped through the booklet, And so I finally did get him to actually officially sign it, so I'm no longer a liar. So, yeah. But it was cool, though. It was cool because then they also played that little that Slice, Dice, and Rice game.
Yeah, what was that?
It's a game that's made by a Polish developer. It's being published by ArcLive.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why they had they played it over there. But it's just like a 2D Bushido blade.
Right.
It was actually kind of neat.
It looked kind of cool.
I really liked the graphic style on that thing. But afterwards, we all got to go out like to dinner and stuff like that and hang out and everything. So that was actually really cool. It was a really cool thing. But yeah, the main thing that they wanted to talk about was that Thursday they're going to announce a bunch of new things. So expect that on Thursday.
Sweet.
There's going to be a press announcement from ArcLive. We're going to find out a lot more about, I don't know. Like, they didn't tell me what, obviously they couldn't tell me things, but like I'm hoping,
that's how it goes.
News about Guilty Gear Rev's new patch, maybe a release date for that, and, Maury did hint like maybe we'll find out some more about the future of Blaze Blue or something like that, so we'll see.
I thought it was very funny when you asked him if he's happy that cross-tag battle's getting be at EVO, and his response was that he is, but he's also kind of sad that Blaze Blue's not going to be there.
Yeah,
I thought that was cute.
I got confused when he said that too, because I was like, Essential Fiction was there before.
Yeah, wasn't it there last year?
Yeah, it was there last year, but he just meant this year it's not there. He's sad about that. So
yeah, no, it was really cool. Especially hilarious was that when they were talking to each other in Japanese, you were still doing the thing that we both do, where we just when the other person is talking, you like look at the camera and you're like, yeah.
And like they would say something and laugh, and I would be like, ha 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 ha. I would laugh too, and I'm like,
that was hilarious.
I have no idea what they're talking about, but I gotta keep doing that. Dude, you gotta do it. Get the face expressions like, okay. That one very famous GIF, I can't remember what, like it's.
Oh yeah.
That
was hilarious.
Oh man.
All right, well, that was cool, man.
Little funny thing. I mean, I'm just curious what your opinion on this. So ChrisT is like on this crusade to get Ken players to stop playing Ken because of Ken's inconsistencies, which is a really annoying term, as Javits has said, because it's not inconsistent, because it happens all the time in a consistent fashion. It's just that it's essentially Tom Brady, right? It's not functioning as it should be, it's
What did Tom... Oh. I thought we were talking about football for a second.
No, the other Tom Brady, the ice clone complaints kind of thing, that it's not working as it should.
Right.
But he's like, apparently Chris is on some crusade to get everyone to stop playing Ken, so that way Capcom will actually notice and try to fix things. I even saw Javis tweet out today, like he tagged Capcom and like reworded everything in this direct, like, can you make sure that counter hit back crouch medium punch into back medium punch combos consistently and stuff like that. So I don't know, like,
I don't know, man.
Seems kind of silly to you.
Yes. Well, to be more clear, I think he's absolutely right that if you think that the character is bad or it doesn't work, you should stop playing it.
That's what Javits said, right? Or no, you're talking about
Chris's campaign, right?
Yeah,
Like don't play Ken until he's usable.
Right. Yeah.
100% agree with that. I think that is definitely the best way to go for competition, right? To do well if you think that it really is a problem, and maybe more important for your own psyche, so that you're not constantly
exactly
butting heads with the character that you think is so obnoxiously wrong.
So one thing I want to just someone asked in the chat what happened to Julio. Julio actually had hand problems for the longest of times. He had hand injuries from maybe playing games too much, similar to Kudans. Kudans had to do that too, right? So that's actually why we haven't seen much of Julio of late.
Yeah,
he actually had some hand issues.
That really sucks.
The frustration that I have is just that, it's not just Ken, right? Like, a bunch of Vega players came in, they're like, dude, Vega's so much jankier, like, things just stop working on counter hit, push back and stuff. And, again, like Java said, there's inconsistencies. Games, the one thing that I've always said about fighting games that people have to understand, and this will actually make them better players, is that if you repeat the situation, unless the game has intentional programmed randomness, the same thing is going to happen every single time, right? And that's one of the key things. There's no this magical thing where, like, sometimes this happens and why?
For sure.
Like, that's not how it works, right? It's not like, you're going to throw the basketball and it's just going to run around the rim and then fall out, and you're just like, what the heck, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Unlikely anyway.
Yeah. So fighting games are consistent.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's just that things are not working as you would imagine that they should work.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not even that they're working incorrectly.
Right. Absolutely right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think that this is cool. Can you please make it so that this doesn't happen, is the best you could say. It's not a mistake. It's not an inconsistency. It's not random. It's just, it's a problem that you think should be addressed.
Yeah. No, I think viewing situations as what you believe should happen only really goes so far, and at some point that holds you back because it's harder to look for solutions to problems that you think are solvable by shoulds. Right? They should be different. Yeah, Broly legs is you're funny. God. Yeah, I know. This happened to me while James was talking. That was,
Sorry.
No, I had the same exact reaction you did. Believe me.
Freaking Broly legs, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, so I totally agree with Chris that if he thinks it's a big enough problem, that he should play a different character. I mean, other Ken players have been playing other characters. Momochi plays a couple other different characters.
Like Colleen
Big
now.
Bird. Yeah, I mean, they switch around. So sure, I think that's a great call. But I also think that maybe the way of calling for a boycott is maybe like not the most efficient way to do that.
I mean, he's just to stop playing him.
Okay,
that's just what it is. Like Chris, I mean,
Good.
I don't think
right.
you have to do a boycott, but just stop playing him.
Totally, dude. No, I mean, it's clearly hurting him. You know, I mean, it hurts his performance. Whether that's only the character that hurts his performance, not being the strongest, or if it's also the fact that it's just like mentally draining to have to deal with a situation like that constantly.
It is.
Because it is.
Right. I mean, as a former Q player and a former ST Cami player, like we know. I mean, like when I went to Hey Arcade and I played Cami, I'm just like, man, if only she had just like these two. This
is happening.
You just what can you
25
do?
years later.
Yeah, I know. What can you do?
24 years later.
Time, man.
I remember having conversations when I was playing Third Strike and manning him and competing with him. Remember one time having a conversation with buddies before a big tournament where they said, hey, do you think you have any chance to win? And I said, no. I play Q. And they looked at me and they're like, you don't feel like you have a chance to win though? And I was like, no, because I get it.
Right.
Like that's, and like in later years thinking about that conversation, their frustration with me was that I wasn't doing what I could to win. Right? It wasn't like you should think that you can win because even though you're playing Q, like that wasn't like they're not being unrealistic about it. It's like, why don't you give yourself a chance to win?
Right.
And it took me a long time to figure that out. So it's sad to see other people go through it, but I hope they get over it.
Personally, like I do feel like from ChrisT's perspective as well. Again, I'm a fan of ChrisT. I always want to see him do well 100%. And everything. And he's always been kind of held back by this Ken thing. Even in Season 1, when Ken was super good, he had a lot of frustrations with Ken, and he would think that a lot of characters had advantages over Ken and everything. I think, if he does just say, you know what, forget Ken, let me go play Abigail, or, you know what, let me go play Rashid.
Yeah.
I think that would actually help a lot of his own personal Street Fighter growth, to be able to experience this game from a different perspective like that. So.
I know that he was playing Ibuki for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's kept up with that, but yeah, I agree, man. I'd love to see it. So, okay. Some team signing, changing newses and stuff like that. Infiltration has left Team Graft. Right.
So now I guess he's a free agent again. But Infiltration jumps around a lot. I mean, he's been on a bunch of different teams, but he just won Evo Japan. I'm sure he's going to have plenty of suitors at this point.
I'm sure he has offers.
Yeah, I'm sure people are coming to courting, so
he'll be all right.
Yeah. But Tampa Bison has signed a contract with Team Czech 6. I don't know who Czech 6 is. The 6-6 chic, 6 sheep sick. I don't know who Czech 6 is, but hopefully this works out for him. So. And NuckleDoo actually talked about how he wants to fly a up-and-coming player from the Florida scene to Evo.
Very cool.
This year, so that's really cool. I mean, we've already seen players do stuff like that. NuckleDu's flown people out before, but it was like a known player, and it sounds like he really wants to send someone who's new this time.
I think that's super awesome.
Yeah.
We've seen Justin do that as well. I think players like them have, in a sense, made it. They have sponsors, or I guess NuckleDu may have a sponsor that pay them well. Yeah. And they win a lot of tournaments or get money. They get money from tournaments too. So they give back to other players. I think is really admirable. I love that.
Okay.
I guess Daigo has done that as well. It's
By the way, so Cam Attack says that Check6 is an old school esports team, mostly for games like Counter-Strike.
Oh.
And I guess they used to sponsor Anakin and Just Frame James for Tekken, according to Shatrian Talon, if that's true.
Huh.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, didn't know.
Okay, cool. Also, Core A Gaming recently put out another video about Evo Japan, just like a little bit of a quick view of Evo Japan. Core A Gaming, of course, recently has gone to content creation full time.
Yeah.
So, definitely shout outs to him. Support him as much as you can. I got to talk with him at Evo Japan. In fact, I'm in the video. He got to interview me and stuff like that. So. Last thing, too, is that in the realm of new controllers, there's a company called Joniphrase. Joniphrase Reviews. There's a new controller called the Mixbox controller, which is basically a hitbox, but instead of actually those buttons being set up that way, they're just WASD.
Yeah.
Yeah, like here, let me...
put it on the screen here? So it's regular buttons... Right, the regular 30 millimeter buttons.
Yeah, look at this thing.
Yeah, they're not the small ones.
So there you go. There you go.
Plus keyboard. And it's actually in WASD, like the down is a little bit to the right of the up.
Oh, you're right.
So it's literally the same layout.
There you go. So interesting.
Well, that's kind of weird.
If you've learned to play on keyboard and you want to, I've seen a custom controller like this at Evo before.
Oh, I've known people who play on keyboard or keyboard customizations of sticks since the mid 2000s, for sure. But
hey, if you're a WASD warrior, you know what I mean. That works out for you. I think that's fine.
I just feel like that's like a weird hand situation, but again, that's cool. Everybody likes their own thing,
I'm like one of my good friends, when he played keyboard games, he didn't even use WASD. He used WSED. He used like a box of buttons, and he just learned how to have one of them be up or down so he can hit diagonals easier. Like he can do... Yeah, he had a weird setup, but he was really good with it, and it worked out really well for him. Like,
horrible.
Yeah. Because he kind of played sideways like this. Like he was like kind of like... left, right, and then up, down, so he could... I forgot how it worked exactly. Now I need to go ask him again before I keep messing it up. So, okay, I did not make that up. I swear to God, I have a friend who's like, no, it wasn't just ESDF. It wasn't just move it over. Come on, dude.
Well, I play on ESDF sometimes, or I used to. I guess now I've been playing on WSD because I like having the home button, the whatever it's called, home row, little thing that sticks up there. Yeah. I forget what to call that. But the little thing on the F.
ASDF. That's weird. ASDF is weird.
ASD. Oh. I can see that working out.